Hi, I'm Diana.
And I'm LaVonda.
And we're Homeschoolific.
So I guess we're just here for an update because Diana's been here, but
like,
I haven't.
Oddly and awkwardly.
And beautifully.
Oh, yes.
And I've been absent for several reasons. So I'll just kind of start from the beginning. I made several notes for myself to keep me on track time-wise or timeline-wise.
Timeline, because y'all know us.
Yeah. I've kind of just been on a hiatus. Honestly, didn't think I would come back. I didn't think I was going to because my husband and I decided like early at the beginning of the year, probably like January or February, that we were going to put our boys in school for their next school year. And our oldest, who's our senior, our daughter, she was going to be homeschooled still because it was her last year. However, it wasn't going to be a big deal because she only needed like 4 classes and most of them were going to be at the community college near us. So it kind of didn't really make sense for me to keep going, in my mind at least, with Homeschoolific. And there's a part of me that kind of felt like I wasn't really helping anyone by staying on and not doing it. So technically, while I had her,
not doing it,
not homeschooling.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah. So not homeschooling. My oldest would still be homeschooled, but it's not much I do with her
because
this
she's
year.
in dual enrollment.
Yeah, she's dual enrolled, and the other 2 classes she has are online. So it's my best year yet for her because I put a lot of hard work in for many, many years, and so these last 2 years, I've just been blessed. So I thought I was finished, but we'll find out later that that's not the case because obviously
about plans.
I'm here, right? Which actually we were gonna do an update video anyway in July, no matter what. But there was just a big change in our life, so which I'll go get into. But it really kind of stemmed from me being burnt out, like the whole wanting to put our boys in school, and knowing that our youngest needed more help than I felt like I could give. And it was a lot of it was because I was completely burnt out. It wasn't really all from homeschooling.
Yeah.
I was burnt out from working and homeschooling and volunteering.
Living in Texas and homeschooling.
Yes.
Texas is great. It's fine, but
there's a lot of obstacles that we've had to deal with since we've been here, and it's exhausting.
It is.
It's exhausting, really. So trying to balance all those things in homeschool, and I'm just like, if I gotta work, I can't do this. Like that's kind of what it boiled down to. And at the time I was working, and so even that has changed. So like just so many shifts in our lives,
which has kind of been ongoing since we moved here.
It's been, our lives have been shifting for the last 4 years.
Yeah, there's not been, I can't even say 6-8 months we've had consistency.
No.
In life, and it's in our, like, it's both of our lives. It's not just, you know what I'm saying. So that makes it very hard.
It does.
You keep having changes with work and school and stuff, and I keep having people move in and out.
Right. And work. Yeah. I'm like, it's just been more than my brain could like. I haven't had a chance to like slow down and think about like how I was going to make this work well, right? And because for me, it's like, if I can't give my kids the best that I can give,
which is fair,
then I know there's another place I can take them to that can give them better than what I'm giving them right now. And I know a lot of parents, when they're homeschooling, they're like, that's not true. It is true. Because
I want to talk about the thing you said with your youngest.
Yeah.
That's, you and I carry the same burden when it comes to that.
Yeah.
And if you don't have a child that has needs that are harder to achieve with education and you're doing it alone, you'd be surprised. Like the burden is very hard upon the homeschooling mom.
Yeah.
And I don't care what you all say, unless you have a special needs child, you understand. And I don't even mean special needs in like there's special needs kids, and my heart goes out to those parents. But I mean like when it comes to the academics and you're just trying to give your kids the best that you can, and you are limited in time.
Yes.
Because you're homeschooling multiple kids. And you can't be unfair to those kids. You'd be surprised at what that burden, even if you see increase, the burden is so heavy.
It is.
So,
and with crazy thing is like, I saw such an increase in our youngest this past year with his reading, because it felt like we were just, chipping at the same,
I
opening the
feel
same
it.
wounds over and over again. Like, it just didn't feel like we were getting far enough, fast enough.
Yeah.
Even though there was progression. And we know, like, I know, 12 years, this is my 12th year homeschooling. I know what it should look like. I know what I want it to look like, right?
Mm-hmm.
I know what I don't want it to look like, and sometimes how it looks. But you see progress. Sometimes it's a year, sometimes it's a month, sometimes it's 6 months, right? And so I usually go based off of, after 3 to 6 months, like, what are things looking like? How can I compare? How's it going? And I was having a hard time with trying to give him the time that he needed and work. And, the volunteering things I could shift, which was interesting because I know you're like, well, why volunteer for all those things? When I started doing that, I wasn't working because I stopped working in the summer before the last school year. I stopped working thinking like, oh, great, so I can homeschool. And then I realized I needed to go back to work in October of 2023, so that's what I did. Well, I applied and then started in November. But point is, life changed even in that season, and so it just makes it so difficult.
And you had already signed up for the things.
Yeah.
Also, that's her soul food. Like everybody has that thing that feeds their soul, and volunteering for LaVonda is
Yeah.
food for her soul.
I love to serve. I think that's kind of what it boils down to. Like, I love serving people. That's and helping to meet needs that people have, because I don't know, it's just the burden that God's put on my heart. But around the springtime, none of that mattered. Like,
It's complete burnout.
I was completely burned out. I didn't want to homeschool anymore. I didn't want to help serve with anything. By April, I was flat out done. I didn't want to do any of those things. And so I just decided in my mind, like, okay, in June, because all the things that I wanted to be faithful to the things that I volunteered for, which all kind of like ended and wrapped up around May, which is fine. Because I told myself in June, I'm going to give myself this break and we'll be done. We'll be done with school. We're stopping no matter what. I don't care how far we are. I need to break, right? And so Dinah was concerned about me because she saw that I was like, I'm not doing this anymore, that anymore. I'm telling her I'm done with this.
And she likes to do. And I've never seen this. And I was like, excuse me, are we okay here? I was literally like worried. I was like, Lord, help me with the right words, because I'm worried about my girl.
And the thing is, I was like, I don't know, maybe should I be worried? I felt fine, but I was done. I was just done. And I don't think I've ever felt more done with, it wasn't just with home, it was just with everything that pulled me away from home. Like, I just wanted to be mom.
Do you think like plowing through COVID and the shutdowns and everything like we did also aided to that? Like, because like where a lot of people kind of just shut down and like they did nothing, and our families didn't do that.
No, we didn't. I feel like we had a good time though.
We did have a good time, but we
were
never sat in what was happening.
No, we were all very much in a survival mode in a good way, I think.
Yeah, I think we dealt with it like in a healthy way.
Yeah.
But those emotions and stuff that you had, that you didn't deal with, kind of
No, they linger. Yeah.
Yeah. So
They
I kind of
linger.
wonder, because I know I went through that too, and I was like, it's a trial of Job. I can't even tell you why. And I kind of feel like it was because I didn't deal with it.
Yeah. I don't necessarily know that I dealt with it at all. I think like little bits of it would seep out throughout the course of the last kind of 4 years, and it's small like meltdowns, right, or breakdowns, right? We're just like
right.
a weekend where you're just like, I don't want to live here anymore. I don't want to do these things anymore. I just need to go back. I just need to go. And then inflation hit, so we couldn't even live like we would normally live, which was very difficult. Which
adds to it.
It does, and it also was one of the reasons, it was the reason why I started working. And so we're kind of at this place now where trying to like work through all the emotions of all the things and the burnout from everything. And the break in June was really kind of like a partial break, but it was still good. Like, I felt good. And then in July, my mom died. And so that was like this hit, you know, emotionally. And it was difficult because that's the thing I was saying that happened when we were supposed to at some point get together that month to film an update. That happened, and it just shook. Like my world was just kind of like it just kind of crumbled.
As it should.
Yeah. And so we were pretty much we were out of town because we had a memorial service for Mom in Tennessee, and then we're from Michigan, so my family's from Michigan, and so we went to Michigan to bury my mom. We had a funeral there for her, and then buried her there, and so just it's been insane, just like insane. So if you see me looking down, it's because, like I said earlier, my notes. So I told myself I would, you know, the boys going to school was the best thing. And that's when it hit me, like, this is why I stopped. I said no to all those things earlier. Like, the Holy Spirit had put in my heart and to, like, chop these, volunteer, to, like, aggressively cut out all the things that that didn't burn in my heart to do, like, absolutely burn in my heart. I kept one thing. And I'm grateful for that one thing still. But I had to, like, stop. And I realized putting them in school was going to do me so much, like, it was going to bless my heart so much because I could, like, rest and mourn more than I would have been able to. And so in August, you know, if you've been homeschooling for a while and you have this thing where you put your, you know, or if you decide to put your kids in school. Now, mind you, our youngest had never been to school, and our middle child, which is both boys, our oldest son and our youngest son. The oldest son, he'd gone to kindergarten for like 3 months. Like, that was it. So anyway, they're in school, and as the first day of school was just, you know how it is. It's, you know, you never know. As the week progressed, it got so bad. Not that there were so many things that were happening at this school, and it was a charter school. We just were so displeased. By the end of the week, my husband and I had a talk that weekend, and we were just like, we're not. There's no way we're sending the boys back. And I could feel God just kind of preparing my heart that week. Because I called Diana when I was talking, like, yeah, it's a mess. And I didn't say a whole lot in the beginning. And as the week progressed, I'm like, this was happening. She's like, are you serious?
I kept trying to be positive. But by, I think it was Thursday, I was like... Because I also know, like, where she's at, so I don't want to, like, say, well, girl, you need to pull them out. But at the same time, I'm like... Also, what happened on the first day when you and Mike dropped them off?
Oh, we balled. We got in the car. I don't even know if I made it out of the school building. It was like dropping off. Now, mind you, our boys are in 5th and 6th grade, so 10 and 11. And they actually turned 10 and 11 that week, that first week of school. Right. And I barely made it out of the school building. And I just put my sunglasses on because I'm sitting there, like, crying. I'm crying at this point, sniffling. I hear Mike sniffling. My husband Mike, we're on the way to the car, and I'm like, it's like, you know, I am trying to keep it together, and then we just get in the car and we cried. We just cried for like 15 minutes, and we were like, this is good for them. This is good. Like, this is what we're telling ourselves, like, bawling in the car. So that was like, I think it was a part of it too, was like, if we knew that a season of our lives was ending.
It's another thing to mourn.
Yeah,
it's hard.
It was, and I feel like we've given up so much already.
Girl.
So
I got goosebumps just her saying that.
Yeah. So I mean, anyway, so they're back home now. So
they made it a week.
They made it a week. And what's interesting is we applied to 2 charter schools. One of the other charter schools shut down in the middle of the summer.
Yeah.
We got an email from them like, hey, yeah, we know you applied. Just want you to know we're closed. We had to close this. Like, that's what it was. So there were no other options. God was just like, you go back. You bring them back home. I couldn't even think of the other school. And I feel like God was also preparing my heart during that week as I was watching things get worse and worse.
But you also, you also had you didn't have to worry about all the stressors that we normally would have as homeschool moms in June and July.
Oh yeah.
Which was also a blessing for you, right? And so in August, she puts the kids in school, but had those stressors been in where you're sitting up here like I'm bearing my mom, but I also got to prep, and you probably wouldn't have given yourself the grace that she was willing to give yourself after the week of putting the kids in school.
No,
because you gave yourself grace after that.
I did, and I'm grateful because I realized that I needed. I was like, first of all, I had an event that I had volunteered to help cater. In September, that was a big one.
It was huge.
And so I helped.
You did a good job, y'all.
Thank you. I helped with that like mid-September, but I told my husband when we put the kids out, I just need a month. I need to be able to get through this event. I need some time to rest and plan and prep for a new school year. And I know some homeschoolers don't do it, but I like to lesson plan. I need to know like what our days are going to look like for the next, for a good month. So we have a path that we're headed now. So there's a goal, right? And so that's important to me. And so I did that. And I'm grateful for that time because I did get to rest some. And after the event, and then start kind of like slowly getting ready for a new school year. Thankfully, because we've done some shifting, so we let the kids, we moved bedrooms around. People have their own room. The school room was no more.
I forgot, how's that working out?
The rooms situation?
Well, not having a classroom now.
We just been down in the living room, at the table, on the couches. We have a loft upstairs, so
it kind of works as an old.
It does. The loft is fine. I'm gonna add more bookshelves in other places and things like that because there's still piles of things that don't have a place to go right now. Sitting in a pile, in different piles in our loft, where all of our shelves, bookshelves have been moved out into, and yeah. So it is very interesting. After the nonprofit event that I helped cater, there was our daughter. Our senior turned 16. So family came in town. We celebrated her. Like, I just needed to get through these things, right? So at the end of September, I'm like, great, September 30th, we started our first school day. I was ready to go. I was so excited. And then I think that the day before, my throat was a little bit sore. I'm like, you know what?
Because you thought it was allergens, like I was telling you.
Yeah, I thought it was just allergies. Because I had been outside a couple days before, just sitting outside for hours at a football game. But what I forgot was there was a guy sitting behind me coughing and sneezing for a good portion of the end of that game, saying it was his allergies. Okay? And so we know how that goes sometimes.
I hear that so much here. Like, how do you know? You don't know till you don't know.
Man, my allergies are whoo. And you don't. That's true, you don't. It could look like that. And so by Tuesday morning, I woke up and I was just a wreck. And so we got through that first day. Yeah. So we had our first sick day, the second scheduled day of school, because I was sick. And I'm like, okay. And then the kids started not feeling well several days later. And then everybody was fine. But now I have a sick kid again. My point is, Myron Golden said this. You can find him on YouTube. That's where I watch him. He said this: with intention comes disruption.
Oh, girl, hallelujah.
So when you set your mind to do something, there's going to be something or things that come along to disrupt that. But you still push through. And I realized that those things that come to disrupt my intentions are when I've got goals that are important, right? When we've got things that are crucial to the next step in our lives. And so you push through. And so that's where I'm at. I'm pushing through, with the grief and the sickness, and kind of really just starting our school year over again. So week 2, technically day 2. So you know what?
That's the beauty of being a homeschooler.
It is.
The flexibility.
It is. Being able to do that, and also knowing that I planned, I feel really good about. I'm not jumping into something where I'm like, what do we do now? I know where to go. Like, I know what to do next because set up a plan for us, and I know the next step. So I'm gonna keep pushing forward, and that's kind of my update. It's been a whirlwind, but God is still good, and He's still providing for us. And I'm not working technically, but I help my husband with his.
So you're working in your business, your family business.
It is, and I was helping a lot more. But when my mom passed, it just threw me. I keep telling him, like, I'm telling my husband, like, I'm coming back. Don't worry, I'm gonna get back on it. And thankfully, I'm always grateful when, I know you are too, when like past you
Girl.
thinks well ahead.
Mm-hmm.
I had enough content scheduled and posted for him through July, the end of July, like for the whole month. I usually try and plan for the whole month ahead, and then some of August, and then some and some of September. So like there were not as much as I wanted, but like all of July was covered, so I didn't have to worry about doing anything in July. But I can't keep leaving him hanging. So I'm coming back with all the things, and I've got other goals for us, and God's just placed it on our hearts that we have to do things a different way in order for me to be present for our family, to be present as a homeschool mom, which our kids need, which my husband needs, right? And to also be present for him and myself.
Right.
Like, I can't work for somebody else outside of our home and do
I never heard you say one time, LaVonda's not back. You saw her pictures up. I was like, I'm waiting. I was like, oh, we'll see. Because while I sometimes fantasize, you know, and I say that half jokingly, about putting the kids in school, especially when I was working. When I was working, like my hat goes out to you working homeschooling moms,
Yes.
especially with young children or children who have special needs or special learning needs. That is not an easy job.
Right.
And we also run a homestead, and like you, I am very active in our business. I really struggled, and so my kids, had I had to continue working, we had already said, well, I did, and I told my husband that they were going to school because it wasn't fair, like me giving them that little pennies of time.
Yeah.
Or like I have a whole day planned, and then my job called in a meeting. And so, or I can't tell you how many times we were on field trips, and I am tucked away in a corner at a meeting. I'm not even joking. Or I'm up late meeting deadlines and then, you know, I get 4 hours of sleep, and then I've got to give my kids the little bit I've got left. I could never give them their fair amount. And for me, with our goals as a family, that was not going to be enough. And this is why, like, in my last video, I explained, like, I would never subscribe to, like, I'm going to always be homeschooling if it doesn't serve my kids anymore. Yeah. I love being a homeschool mom. We love it. Like, our family, we love it. We are passionate about it. But I am so passionate about my kids. And you are the same way.
Yeah.
It's going to be their livelihood, their education, because at the end of the day, if I screw this up, they've got to fix it. And I'm not putting that on me. I'm not having you talking to your therapist. You're going to have a lot of ammunition, but it won't be about your education, okay? And so I can't do that. And so I get that. Like, I completely get maybe part-time work. I could probably do some part-time work. I didn't mind when I was working like 10 hours a week. It kind of worked for my brain.
It was actually really good.
Yeah, it was like kind of nice.
But then it was just like, but I need money.
Yeah.
But God provides, and that's what I had. We're just living in it right now. We're just trusting God, and
Yes, we all are.
And like I'm sure many of you are as well.
That is where LaVonda's been. I know some of you have been wondering. I'm glad to have her back because I think we are so much better together.
Aw, yay!
I'm not very funny by
agree.
myself.
She is.
Like, I entertain myself. I laugh at my own jokes super hard. But like to everybody else, it doesn't cross over. Because I was there when I had the joke, so.
Like, when it came to me, I laughed. When I said it out loud, I laughed.
But I laughed so hard. I mean, you had to be there, but I was the only one there. It's a thing.
Oh, gosh. No, I agree. I definitely feel like we're better together. It's also that time where, I mean, I don't know if we do this so that we can be together.
It was another thing. It's another thing that like changed though.
It did.
It was like it's hard. Like what you said. I've said it. I think in one of my videos of ranting of Texas. I was saying good things, but also it kind of was like a pity party video. Sorry for that. But I went ahead and put it out there because I was like, gosh, I have too many videos that I am not putting out there. But the amount of changes, and this is not just unique to Texas. I think this is just where we're at in the world.
Yes.
But to keep having to feel like you gave up everything, and then it's like, oh wait, you see that thing right there? Give that up too. And you're like, okay, well, what do I have left? That's like my old life, you know?
But you know what I've been reminding myself is that I can't hold on to these old things when God's preparing me for this new thing. And so I have to constantly remind myself, because if the word is true and he's with me, and I believe it's true and I know it's true, that through the valleys, right? Just as Psalm 23 tells us, then he's getting ready. He's preparing me for this next season, for this mountain that I get to go to, the next thing, right? And so I just have to trust that even if it just feels like it's a long, the valley is miles, y'all.
We're not Joseph though.
No. And we're not the Israelites, so maybe.
Sometimes I feel that way with my murmuring. This is where God has been having me lately. It's still a good life.
It is.
It's not my old life.
No, it's not our old lives.
My old life was a good life though.
It was.
And I miss that. But this life's a good life too.
It is. I was just telling my Mike about my husband Mike. Both our husbands are Michaels, but mine goes by Mike. Hers goes by Michael. And I was just telling Mike that Google often reminds me. My Google Photos sends me memories and puts it all together. Not every day. It comes up with all the new ones. And so I was looking the other day and I was just like, we've had such a good life. We still have a good life. And I know that God will continue to give us a good life. It doesn't mean we have no problems. Doesn't mean it's perfect.
We have problems then. We just, when you think about it in the past, you romanticize.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
I think it was less problems though, because I didn't have I have the financial, economic issues.
It was 100% less problems.
And Uncle Sam wasn't like, let me dig deeper in your pockets. Don't let them tell you. Don't. They're lying. They're lying about these taxes, y'all. They all come back to us. Sorry.
So if you live in a state income tax free state, right? Do a little bit more research.
Well, we did.
No, yeah. You don't know. Okay. Like, you need to talk to people there and get a feel for what's happening.
How are they getting their money?
Because they're going to get it.
Yeah. I'm talking about feds too, though. Like, everybody's like,
everybody's getting a piece.
Give me. Even Nevada's like, hey, girl. I'm like, where'd you come from? You got some money for me? I owe you nothing. They're like, let me check. They made me go back to 2016 and rechecked everything to make sure I didn't owe them money. I'm telling y'all, they are out for your money.
Yes.
I don't owe Nevada nobody. Nothing. They're tripping.
So, we do have a good life. God is still providing, as I know he will continue to. I was even just talking to our kids about this, like letting them know, because I have them memorizing. Our boys are memorizing Psalm 23 at the beginning of the school year, and so making sure like they know the whole. And obviously we go through the begining where the Lord is my shepherd. I have everything I need. Like he gives me everything I need. The Lord is he gives me everything I need. So we just went like. We have to remind ourselves it's simple words. You're like, Lord is my shepherd. I have shown I want, right? Like, I don't want for anything. Like, hold on. He gives me everything I need. That means right now I have all that I need. And so
no diva tantrums from me.
I've been reminding myself because they're real. You're like, where did all my money go? I
just want to buy a salad, Lord. Can I get a tasty burrito out here that don't have tasty burrito?
So no, 100%. We're I totally get like the Israelites wandering in the wilderness and the murmur, all the things, because it doesn't feel good, but
the change. It's not even so much as if it's good or bad. It's just change. We hate change as humans.
Most
of us, not all of us.
Yeah, the changes that I don't want. I don't like.
What changes do you want?
I enjoy like things that change, like progression.
You rearrange your furniture
all the time. Like it's rearranged right now.
Yeah.
Right now, and I'm probably gonna have to move it around again once I need to put our Christmas tree up. Y'all, I'm ready for Christmas.
Me too.
normally I wouldn't even say this in October, and I'm like, y'all doing too much. But I want to go back to the mall because Macy's Christmas stuff all set up.
Oh, we should plan to take the kids.
It's so nice in there. I just want to go into like the department stores and see all their Christmas displays and all the things, and like, you ever just need to look forward to something good, like that's where I'm at.
Christmas has been like that for me since the shutdown zone.
I agree.
And I've enjoyed it for many years.
Mm-hmm.
But since the shutdown, it's like, I just can't wait. I need to feel that good feeling. I need to feel cold.
Yeah.
And not because y'all overcompensated for the heat outside. That's not the good cold.
I need to feel the cold that I didn't have to pay for in my house. Okay?
But I mean, like, just
my utility bill is whoop, whoop, whoop. Mm-hmm. But anyway, we're going to get off here.
Yes.
Thank you all so much. We'll continue to put our link down below that tells you where you can find free resources. If you're new to homeschooling, we created a homeschool course that's free, absolutely free. If you're an existing homeschooler and you just need some reassurance or to be encouraged, go through the link down below. Check out our homeschool 101, the ultimate homeschooling course.
And you can jump around to chapters. You don't have to do it, in order. So just take the chapters you need. We also have the 75 resources that every homeschooler needs on our website as well. So you can have free access to that as well.
Yes. So thank you all for trucking along with us in this video with my really, really long update.
It's a good update.
It was. It's a good update, and I'm glad to be back. So we'll see y'all in the next video.
Bye.